out in 2014. Now, when it initially came out, I didn't really have a desire to play it. It didn't really catch my eye. But then Spectre of Torment came out, and same with the Plague of Despair. I'm like, you know what? That actually looks like a really fun game. But I knew that there were 4 games coming out, and I came up with this brilliant idea. I'll wait for them all to come out, and then I'll play them in reverse. It'll make for a great video. But then King of Cards took over 2 years to come out. But it finally has. I played King of Cards. Now what did I think of the whole Shovel Knight game? Shovel Knight is like an NES game, if NES games were fun. Now look, I know that is a bold statement, but back in 2017, I played 30 NES games. NES games were not made to be fun. They were made to waste your gosh dang time. Shovel Knight was made with the express purpose of blowing the player's mind. Now I've only played the King story, so here's a review on that. Shovel Knight, King of Cards is a prequel to the Shovel Knight game. King of Cards came out, and I need to stress this, in late 2019. It tells the story of how the character King Knight became the king. And I gotta say, I really like the character of King Knight. He's a bit of a dork and has these visions of grandeur. Actually, he reminds me a lot of Papyrus. Anyway, there's this card game called Joustus, and there are the 3 Joustus judges. It is declared that anyone who can beat the 3 judges will be crowned the King of Cards, and King Knight, wanting nothing more than to be an actual king, sets out on a quest to defeat them, and the game starts. We go to the first level, which is a bit tough for an opening level, but it makes sure that you actually understand the mechanics of this game. King Knight's main attack is this shoulder bash. If he makes contact with anything, he'll do this awesome spin move, which gives him a little bit of elevation, followed by a downward strike. The whole game is built beautifully around these simple mechanics. So many puzzles with such a small moveset. I love it! So, after the first level, you meet King Knight's mother, who's just the sweetest mom character. Throughout the game, you can buy health and vigor upgrades from her. The health is from cash money, and the vigor is from Valor medals, which I feel I should explain. First, Valor medals. They're like the special stars in new Mario games, where if you can show prowess in using the mechanics just right, you can collect them. And best of all, the medal stays collected even if you die. Not gonna lie, there was more than one medal where I collected it, and I did not have an escape route planned. I knew how to get the medal, I didn't know how to survive after that. As for the vigor, it's like Castlevania's hearts. You can collect weapons throughout the adventure, like a projectile, a hammer that can smack hearts out of foes, and my personal favorite, a rising flaming sword move with a downstab that shoots out a wave of fire! For 2 main reasons. First off, it is radical! Second off, it gives you an extra jump that can save your miserable life if you mess up. Anyway, the next few levels are a little easier. And then we get Spectre Knight, and King Knight is being a little full of himself, a bit disrespectful, and then a fight breaks out. And it was way easy, mostly because he dropped a heart, and I thought to myself, heart? I want heart, but heart is forward. Wait, if me press Y, me go forward! So I pressed Y, hit the Spectre Knight, but then I didn't collect the heart, so I had another thought. Me not get heart. Heart is forward. But wait! Pressing Y make me go forward! So I just kept trying to get this heart, and I did an unfathomable amount of damage to the guy, especially when I realized there were 2 hearts up for grabs. Afterwards, Spectre Knight gives me a deck of cards, and I go to a Joustus house to try out the new game. And at first, I didn't really like it, but by the end, I was loving it. However, in this video, there's not that much to say. It's a game that you really need to just play for yourself. The biggest thing worth mentioning is you get really unique boards later in the game, and there's all these cards with all these effects. In fact, my favorite thing is that all the cards are based off of enemies and bosses, and all of the cards actually work like the enemies they're based on. Like Bubble Dragon. He has arrows to the left and the top, because he shoots bubbles to the left, and he's armored on the top. Propeller Rat only goes up, and the Black Knight has a powerful downstab. Alright, while the Joustus judges assumed that the future King of Cards was gonna beat them in a game of Joustus, King Knight found a loophole, where he simply needs to beat the bosses, and he much prefers a shoulder bash in place of a well-placed hand. Which would be disappointing if the fights in this game weren't so amazing. Oh, it's getting close! Spear! Spear! But King Pridemore is not sour. In fact, he decides to join you. Oh, and that's one thing that I forgot to mention. Your ship. After
After you leave the Joustus house for the first time, a bard and a chicken man recognize you as the future king of cards. They take you aboard their ship and will be your faithful subjects throughout the entire game, and you'll add many more members to your crew throughout the experience. The bard will sing songs of your valor, and they are all fantastic. I love every member of the Glide Wing. I especially like the deer captain. To get off the Glide Wing, you need to jump, and he's got different animations for when you fall. My favorite one is this one. You jump off, he's like, oh, flip, King, no! So yes, King Pridemore comes aboard your ship, and speaking of ship, can I just mention that King Pridemore and Mom are like the cutest couple under the daylight sun? Then we move on to the next area, and you got your standard fare. You got fire levels. Oh my, stop! You got your water levels. Is there treasure in here? No, I guess we'll finish level. Oh, that is not the end of the level! And you've got freaking chemical levels.
Actually, now that I think about it, it's not that common of a trope, but it was an amazing level.
You know how I said this was an NES game if NES games were fun? Yeah, this game is extremely fair, but challenging. You will say horrible strands of profanity from the deepest recesses of your soul when you die. Not because you died in a cheap way, but because you know the only reason you died is because of you. It is great, and the best part is you only drop money. You can actually go back and retrieve the money. You see, this is brilliant because you get better at the level, so you can easily get back to that part, and then you achieve your money, you feel good, but it still has a fail condition. Oh man, this is a good game. You get on this level with a platform thingy, and if there's too much weight on it, it'll begin sinking. No, get off, skeletons! No, you'll kill us all! Another thing this game does amazingly is auto-scrollers. Put me in an auto-scroller in a Mario game, and the biggest challenge is going to be me resisting the urge to pull a pin on a fragmentation grenade I keep under my pillow just in case I get bored to death. Time to think about explosive throwing weapons when I'm bouncing atop a gosh dang stag beetle going back and forth across lava and over and under spikes at varying speeds. I adore Shovel Knight's auto-scroller levels, and that's honestly the highest praise I can give any game. Anyway, as you pass levels, you'll set loose bosses that'll roam the lands like the Hammer Bros from Mario 3. One of the best fights was against Plague Knight. The fight was pretty typical. For example, it starts out normal, but after a while, he'll start throwing science at you, and he'll just start blowing up holes in the floor. Once again, I was thinking Mario 3 or Sonic 1, you know, slowly destroying the ground we're fighting on, leaving the cliffs. But as it starts to scroll down, I see what they're doing here. Instead of making it more dangerous, they're making a jagged and uneven battlefield. Depending on where I dodge my attacks, I'm kind of helping shape this battlefield, and then his horse comes in and everyone's just jumping around going crazy. Truly, a phenomenal fight. Seriously, all the mechanics and character designs are just amazing. You got Mole Knight shooting slime all around. You got the Treasure Knight looking like some 1920s diver with cannon arm. Each level has a fun new gimmick that they work into the combat and around your moveset in fun and interesting ways, like the boss of the second area, Apple King. So apparently he's like the logo for Yacht Club games, and this guy is a whale, so you fight him on the water, and you got this little boat. You need to smash it all around, line up hits on him, and avoid attacks. Oh, it was just an amazing fight. They all are. One little complaint, though, is how perfect the levels are, but then they give you armor and heirlooms. They give you increased abilities, like a suit of armor that when you fall off a cliff, some rats come and you raise me up! There's this bubble heirloom that lets you float around and get an extra dash, and even my favorite one, the Flamey Slash Sword, gives you bonus elevation. The cheapest feeling upgrade is one that you get from the Engineer.
Great name, by the way!
The Engineer gave me an upgrade that allowed me to recover 5 hearts at any times. But the thing is, these levels are so finely tuned that you don't need these extra bonuses. And honestly, they feel a little bit like cheating. That's why I eventually unequipped the armors, and I didn't let my mom make me too many blueberry pies. But yeah, we go to the next area, and then the next Joustus judge attacks the airship. You gotta fight them all off, they're harassing my crew. That's not okay, because as I mentioned, every member of the crew is the best character in the game. And look at this guy, he's like a Spanish fencer, and the ground's falling to the earth during the whole fight. How did I not play this game until 2020? Alright, the last area was tough. Lots of air levels, and I knew even before I entered the ladder level that I was going to hate it. And I was right! This is the only area in the whole game that I would consider saying has NES bullcrap in it. So you need to hit this wall to open it up, and as soon as you do, there's a guy who's also a fan that just blows you to your death. I think you might have to grab onto this ladder to avoid getting blown away, but A, he attacks faster than your orangutan brain can even process what the heck is going on, and B, the ladder despawns pretty quickly. Another fight that was kind of unfair was the Tinker Knight. The battle itself was great. I love the concept in his machine, but you see, we're going over these little chasms here, and if you miss your attack on him, you're gonna fall down, and unfortunately, there's not always land to land on. But hey, an unrelentingly tough fight makes for a truly exhilarating victory! Woo! Oh yeah, in this area, I also unlocked the most important thing in the game. You see, there's a painter on your ship, who, if you pay him, will create a fine portrait in your image. And once it's done, you unlock the throne, so that any time during the game, you can sit down and swirl the brandy.
Swirl the brandy, Thatcher, swirl it!
Then we have an ice level that should have sucked, and actually now that I'm looking back on it, it kinda did. But hey, auto-scrolling with no friction and I still had fun? I don't even know how that's possible! I played the levels, I played the Joustus, I had too much fun. I think the coolest design in this whole game is Arctic Knight, since a lot of this world is based around shovels and he has a snow shovel. Anyway, right before the final Joustus judge was a rematch with Spectre Knight, and this one was crazy tough. I needed to use that heal ability during the fight, but to use it you need to stand still for a little while, and trust me, this guy gave me no quarter. After that was a superb level leading to the final boss, who was just like a regular bird enemy with a cloak on. Afterwards, it was revealed that the whole King of Cards thing was just a ruse, so that the Enchantress lady could take over the kingdom somehow. I don't really get it, but now I need to fight her. I actually kind of relate to the King Knight right here.
King Knight failed to grasp the gravity of the situation.
And now we head to the final area with the toughest set of levels, bosses, and Joustus matches. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I lost a single Joustus match, because at this point, I had a really good deck. The Enchantress, Shovel Guy, Shield Lady, but they had some really cool boards to play on, and the final guy's gimmick was that you only have like 5 seconds to make a move, instead of my normal strategy of sitting there for 5 minutes realizing, crap, I'm gonna lose my Baz card, huh? But yeah, I had a lot of fun here. I loved the spectacle of the clashing silhouettes against the stained glass. I skated through the icy area, and I died a billion times in this auto-scroller. But at last, I made it to the Enchantress's castle. With my faithful crew behind me, we smash our way into the castle. After dodging a few stray blocks and learning how this new type of square works, we enter the Enchantress's chamber. My friends are behind me. I'm sitting in my throne the whole time. And then the fight begins. Now, this one is tough. The Enchantress is flying around the room, she lights the floor on fire, and I land on it at just the wrong time. I mean, okay, I thought we were having a fun fight, but if you want to do me like that, I mean, fine. But the second time, I'm ready for it. She raises the ground up, and I need to be careful with jumping, because each jump takes away another block. But I get her HP low. I sit in my throne as the Prince of Bel-Air, and then I finish it with my beloved Fire Spin Strike! Then she uses her magic to capture and transform the 3 Joustus judges into the final boss. And this guy is hard! And unlike Plague Knight, he is destroying the ground permanently! Whoa! Wait, no! Oh, okay! Okay, then. Yep, and after many attempts, though, I got his HP low. I took a seat in the throne, and then I freaking killed myself! And then, after a few more attempts, I beat him with a flaming sword strike! Flaming sword strike! And then, Andros shows his true form. And in all fairness, this is a little bit easier, but you better be ready for him to pull his hand away. No, are you? Oh my gosh. After half an hour and over 20 deaths, I finally landed my killing strike on him. And then I free the kings, and my whole crew is hanging there for dear life. But then the Enchantress comes. Come with me. Forget these weaklings. Join my order of no quarter, and rule over Pridemore Keep as its one true king.
Ha! He would never!
What are you doing?! Wow, okay. So King Knight is apparently the biggest scumbag this side of the Mississippi. And even though this game left me hating King Knight, that's awesome. This game got me to feel intense emotions. And let me tell you, I cannot wait to play Shovel Knight so I can actually kill this dirtbag. Because anyone who betrays Engineer needs to die promptly.
So that's Shovel Knight, King of Cards! And although I haven't played the other 3 games, I've just played this 1 quarter, I can say, honestly, this is one of the best games I have ever played. I am super stoked to look at the other 3 stories. Now, I don't know if I would have had the appreciation back in 2014 for what I just enjoyed, but just simply put, phenomenal game! Man, I'm just spitting everywhere. Alright, thanks for watching my video! YouTube says people don't watch it this far in, so if you did make it this far, subscribe! You obviously liked what you saw! I'm gonna make videos for Plague Guy! I'm gonna make ones for Spectre Guy! I'm gonna make ones for Shovel Guy! If you liked this, I would love to show you more videos. In fact, if you want to watch more right now, I'm gonna take you to the end screen.